Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 48 of overcoming ankle injuries. And well, today I am doing a skill workout. And it's Friday, but this is already the second time I'm training one arm pull ups this week. And I think maybe the third or fourth time that I'm training some planche. And if you think about it, in none of these workouts, I did crazy things. I just did little small things. I usually do 5 sets of planche and about 3 sets of the one arm pull up. And so these workouts I'm doing, they're nothing crazy, but what makes them crazy is, well, when you do them over and over and over again and then stack up the results. Because every time I do a workout, I get a small reward. I get a small result. I become a little bit stronger, or at least most of the time that's what happens, right? And so it's not about doing these crazy workouts. Of course, once in a while, it's very fun. It's a mental challenge where you can perhaps do a volume workout where you do hundreds of push-ups, or you do a crazy planche workouts where you go to your limit again and again and again. But I think the real magic is, aside from those trainings, when you're just doing the normal workout, the boring stuff over and over and over again. And that's because, well, those are the workouts that are sustainable, right? When you work out like crazy, and of course, I'm not judging workouts like crazy. It's good to get to have fun once in a while and go hard, but you also have to recover quite a while from those. It's what I mentioned, I think, in one of the previous videos, where training to failure is important, but you should use it cautiously. And so the main bulk of the work I do is nothing special. It's just, putting in the work in moderation. And I'm doing these small little workouts, but they're still significant because every time I go into the workout, I look back on the previous workout, I think, hey, how can I make that better? And then I try to reach for it. And so today it's going to be the same style. I will do the planche, I will do the one arm pull up, and I'm gonna play around with little ways that I can progress. And well, the first thing is gonna be planche. How can I progress? I've been using the yellow band in my supinated planche, which for me is very weak, and I'm still scared of the green band. I don't have them here, but the green band is way lighter. I'm still kind of scared of it. So what I will do today is I will put on some weight on my feet to kind of have a progression in between the green and yellow band. And well, hopefully all of these small steps will eventually lead to me doing the supinated planche without any assistance. But right, it's the small steps right now that count. That's the only thing I really care about at the moment. And perhaps when I feel ready, I will do a crazy workout where I just do the supinated planche, right? But for now, just a small progression, right? And there are many, many ways to progress. So these ankle weights, extra reps, better form, less rest time, you name it, you can progress. And so when people ask me how should they progress, well, I think perhaps there are so many choices that they get lost, but just progress in any way possible. That's the most important part. All right. By adding these 2 kilos on my feet, suddenly the push-ups are becoming way more difficult. But the most important part is that it doesn't feel impossible. So I think I'm just gonna, we'll do a couple more sets with the weight on my feet and then try again next time. And perhaps next time I will be doing the same amount of reps, but the quality will be a little bit better, right? And so even that is progress. Even if there is no difference in any reps or rest time or weight, whatever, right? You can still improve because the quality could be better, right? And so, yeah, if you feel like you're stuck, just widen your vision a little bit. Look at it from a broader perspective, and you will find that in some way, some place, you are progressing as long as you work out consistently. Okay, one important thing is that when it comes to progress, of course, you have to aim for it. If you're just doing random workouts all the time, it's going to be difficult to measure your progress. But if you can just, tell yourself how you're going to progress and aim for it, it's going to be way easier. So, for example, right now I'm doing these planche push-ups for the first time with weight on my feet. I can tell myself next time I want to progress in quality. I want to progress in the amount of reps. Let's do a little bit more reps than last time. When I train in one arm pull ups, this point will become very clear as well. And for example, when it comes to normal push ups, for me, I want to train push up endurance. If I can, for example, measure the amount of push ups that I do in a week, which I do measure that, then I can for sure know if I'm progressing the way I want to. So, pick something you want to progress in, whether it's reps or quality or sets or total volume or difficulty of an exercise, and then chase it, week by week. Just make sure there are tiny increments. Anyway, two more sets. Let's go. All right. Not perfect, but a little bit better than last time. Which is, I guess, all that counts. As long as you're doing a little bit better than last time, well, you really can't complain, right? Whether it's 5% extra reps in a week or 1% extra of a rep, everything is progress, right? So let's go. A couple more sets. Okay, so I'm still doing some grease the groove sets for the push-ups, but all in all, that's it for today's workout, and I gotta be honest, especially those pull-ups, they felt harder than they did on Wednesday. And so, when you're not making progress, when things are starting to feel harder, it's just a process of elimination. You have to think about what you are doing in your workouts lately, and well, is your recovery optimal, right? You can do this based on the Master Roshi way of training, right? If you listen to Master Roshi, you will find the answer, right? Work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. Are you training hard? Good. Are you studying? Are you trying new movements? Are you trying to find the most efficient way to do a movement? Good. Are you eating and sleeping plenty? Perhaps you are not, right? In one of these four things, you will find the answer, because you could be working or training hard, right? But are you training hard specific to your goal where you want to progress? For me, these pull-ups, they felt quite hard today, but I also, if I think back to this week's training, I know that yesterday and a couple days before, I did front lever. For some reason, I started doing front lever again. Well, for some reason, because it's fun, right? We all love front lever. I started doing it again, but it might be taking away, or it's most definitely taking something away from my ability to recover in order to get stronger at one arm pull ups. And so, not always it's something that you're not doing, or it's not always the training that you're doing, right? It's not always when you're not progressing on one arm pull ups, it's not always that your training for 1 hour pull-ups is wrong, but it could be that you're doing something wrong on the side. Perhaps, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Perhaps you're not sleeping, right? And so you just have to, look at all of these factors surrounding work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. Regarding those four things, think what you're doing, and then, you will know what is wrong, right? If you're going to bed at 2 a.m. in the morning and waking up at 7, you know that that could be improved, right? It's kind of logical. And so, yeah, just analyze what you're doing when you're not progressing, or all the time, actually. When you're progressing as well, think what are you doing right? And, well, that's how you kind of figure out how you can progress, what works for you and what doesn't. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's trading. I'll finish up greasing the groove with the push-ups. 250 a day I am doing this week. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I will maybe not see you tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is gonna be a leg day, but a large part of that leg day might be replaced with a couple hours on the bike. So we'll see. But in any case, I will see you on Sunday.